Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 36 based on novel. So let's start. Damn. What is that? At this time, Mu Feng also discovered the ghost spirit that came out of the cold pond, and there seemed to be other more powerful things in the pond. The ghost seemed to be only guarding the more powerful things at the bottom of the cold pond, and immediately shivered. Damn, what is this? We can't get out. Xiao Yan took Mu Feng and fled towards the exit, but he was helpless and couldn't get out. It seemed that something was blocking the door and rebounded Xiao Yang. Return. Then Xiao Yang just wanted to use the power of the strange fire, but was attracted by Mu Feng's voice. This is a unique barrier in the ghost world, let me do it. Mu Feng said. The sky and the earth are infinite, the universe is yin and yang, open. Mu Feng tried a strange handprint in his hand, and after speaking, a powerful momentum burst out instantly. Bang bang bang. With the sound of three sounds, Xiao Yang also found that the barrier that blocked them turned into a tidal wave of energy and spread out everywhere, and then there was no time to stop, and the speed increased to the extreme. The two quickly fled, and then, under the influence of Mu Feng's yin-yang law, their figures were also vaguely hidden in the darkness, and even if they were carefully observed, they could not be found. Along the way, they passed some black ghosts patrolling places, and the ghosts were not found, and the two of them were like a gust of wind. Master, what is that thing in the cold pool? Xiao Yang was also shocked, and he obviously knew something from the words of his master, the Golden Dragon King. I didn't want to tell you these things at first, but now that I have encountered it, I have to tell you that when it comes to the cold pool, the ghost is only acting as a guardian. And as you expected, that cold pond is indeed sealed with a powerful ghost. But why did that seal disappear? According to my perception, the ghost sealed in the pool should be a ghost emperor. That belongs to the mainstay of the ghost world is a very difficult character to deal with. In the legendary ghost world, the power of ghosts is divided into the weakest ghost soldiers, ghosts a little stronger than ghost soldiers, ghost generals, ghost handsome, followed by ghosts 10 times more powerful, followed by ghosts stronger than ghosts the ghost emperor who is 10 times more powerful, and finally the most powerful ghost immortal. What you encountered today is the legendary ghost spirit and ghost emperor. If the ghost emperor can't get out, your situation is in jeopardy. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. What are you stunned for? Come with me. Mu Feng also noticed that Xiao Yang's speed had slowed down, and immediately said. After he finished speaking, his speed exploded, and he walked towards a passage in all directions in front of him. Follow him, this kid is proficient in yin and yang gossip, and he can walk on the ground even in the ghost world. The voice of the Golden Dragon King sounded in Xiao Yang's heart. On the edge of the cold pond, the ghost was also looking at the water surface with big bubbles in the pond, and it felt a little bit of fear. No adults. The power of the seal hasn't completely disappeared. Your lord, forcibly breaking the seal like this will only hurt the source. The ghost said respectfully. The creatures in the cold pond seemed to ponder a little, and then went quiet. Where is the ghost spirit in the cold? The ghost spirit also patrolled the stone room and found many comatose humans, and then shouted in satisfaction. Ghost spirit, why did you come out? Don't you want to protect the adults? The original figure also slowly appeared beside Han Kai. Haha, Han, you have the nerve to ask. How can humans enter this place? The figure known as the ghost spirit also said angrily. Human, impossible. Our space transfer formation secretly transferred these humans from the ground and used the ecstasy unique to our ghost world. Even if the 4-star Do Emperor peak is strong, it is impossible for him to wake up in a short time. Yuquan Guiling denied. Yuquan, you have offended your lord. Those two humans not only came here, but also explored Han Kai. Thanks to your lord's obstruction, they didn't succeed. However, their attack also angered the adults, and the seal can only be carried out in advance. The ghost spirit said solemnly. Report, sir. The two humans in the Tianzi room who were transferred have disappeared again. A ghost soldier also appeared slowly. Waste, waste, waste. Yuquan ghost spirit was also furious. Hehe, Yuquan sees the good things you've done. You can't do such trivial things well. If adults know about it. Gui my Guiling also said. It's too late, it should be exposed here. Quickly throw these humans into the pool to help the adults break the seal. Yuquan also said categorically. Yuquan, you. Even in the current situation of the adults, breaking the seal requires the blood of 100 human beings. Now there are 96, will it be? Ghostly ghost spirit said in surprise. It's too late to capture human beings, and if you don't hurry, you will change. The ghost of the secluded spring also said. Sir, things have changed, and now I have to help you break through the seal, Yu Quan said respectfully to Han Kai, and then waved the palm of nothingness, and those sleeping humans were also thrown one by one. Inside the pool. Gulu. With the input of these human beings, it turned into a pool of blood just after they were put into the pool, and there were blood bubbles one after another in the pool. At the same time, there is a circle of golden lines around the cold pond emitting a dazzling light, forming a sharp contrast with the black gas in the pond. One gold and one black are constantly fighting against each other, and as the volume of the human beings thrown into the pool keeps increasing, the black gas gradually has the momentum to suppress the golden light. Xiao Yang and Mu Feng kept hiding in Tibet along the way, avoiding many powerful ghosts. All this is due to Mu Feng's magical yin and yang gossip, otherwise the two would not be able to so smooth. Xiao Yang also has a new understanding of Mu Feng. What is that? Xiao Yang followed Mu Feng to escape from the place of right and wrong, but when he was about to reach the exit, he saw a vague figure. Mu Feng, please stop, this seems to be a person. Xiao Yang's voice also attracted Mu Feng. This place is already very close to the exit. If you want to come here, this person is also brought here. Mu Feng also pondered. Go. Xiao Yang also directly picked up the figure and walked towards the exit. After a few minutes, the two of them saw a place with light, and it was an exit. There was no time to think about it, the speed was increased to the extreme, and the exit was instantly reached. As soon as they reached the exit, the strong light made them unable to open their eyes. After getting used to it for a while, the two of them discovered that the exit was actually on the path they had taken from the ferry and headed towards the test plaza. It's just that this trail is densely distributed, so it is difficult for ordinary people to find it. This matter must be reported to the chief executive immediately, the two said in unison. After speaking, the two of them were also sluggish. You look at me, I look at you, and then they laughed. The two walked towards Wu Jiang's residence at the same time, and the person in Xiao Yang's hands seemed to have a sense of awakening. The two walked towards the residence of the person in charge of Wu Jiang, and the figure in Xiao Yang's hand also looked like he was about to wake up. The figure is also in a coma. Mr. Wu, are you there? Xiao Yang carried a seriously injured person, and Mu Feng followed closely and knocked heavily. In the room, Wu Jiang was also looking at some ancient books. When he suddenly heard that his door was knocked so hard, he couldn't help frowning, obviously a little angry. After all, Wu Jiang has been really busy these days. First, more than 60 people disappeared, which is enough for him. Then today, he received an order from the Shentian sect, and the trials are about to begin. I wonder if these missing people have not been solved yet. Once the trials start, and the people above find out that the number of people is wrong, then his fate. Who is it? Wu Jiang also put down the book in his hand and went to open the door. Jiang Yuan. Wu Jiang exclaimed in a thunderous voice when he saw the figure in Xiao Yang's hand. Uncle Wu, let's go in and talk. There are many people here. Xiao Yang also said. When Uncle Wu saw the figure on Xiao Yang's body, his pupils shrank tightly, and his eyes were a little dull. Good. Come in quickly. Wu Jiang also hurriedly said, letting Xiao Yang and Mu Feng go in and stick out their heads to look outside, and then slammed the door shut. What's going on? Wu Jiang said in a deep voice just after closing the door. To tell the truth, Uncle Shi is like this. We were resting in our room last night, and we were about to lie down. Then, when the eyes darkened, we appeared in a black space. Xiao Yang also saw that Mu Feng was a little weak, and said, how is that possible? Wu Jiang was also shocked when he heard the words. Although this is not their site, and the site was borrowed, the place where these newcomers live has also been inspected by him, and there will be no problems before they move in. If it is really Yu Xiao what Yang said, then the problem here is big. Xiao Yang, you continue. Wu Jiang also continued. Then when I was going to rest in my room last night, I went to that mysterious dark passage as soon as it got dark. When I first went to that passage, I felt a little weak in my body, and I seemed to want to sleep very much, but fortunately, that feeling was suppressed by my efforts, so I was not defeated by the enemy. Then there were some eerie figures that gathered our comatose people together, as if planning something big. And that passage extends in all directions, and there are many paths. If you are not careful, you will get lost. The most important thing is that there is an inconspicuous cold pond in the passage. That cold pond seems to seal some powerful creatures. Mu Feng and I also attacked, but we were shocked by the powerful creatures in it, and we escaped by luck. Come out. Xiao Yang also revealed everything one by one. After all, this is about the safety of the hundreds of people, so there is no room to be careless. And the man on him was the one we encountered on the way to escape. Xiao Yang's voice said slowly, but it struck Wu Jiang's heart like a giant thunder. After he finished speaking, he put the person on him down, and Wu Jiang also hurried over to help him. Damn. It's actually a ghost. It's very difficult to get ghost qi into the body. Wu Jiang, who was also a huge fighter, slowly checked Jiang Yuan's body, and then stared viciously at the black qi on Jiang Yuan's body. Hey, it was really my negligence this time. I didn't expect to cause such a big trouble. Hearing this, Wu Jiang also sighed. Uncle Wu, now is not the time to blame yourself. The top priority is to rescue those newcomers who are comatose in the passage, otherwise, things will change later. And I seem to feel that the aura of those creatures in the passage is eerie and eerie. They are not humans, but ghosts in the ghost world. They took so many people silently, so it must have something to do with the things in the cold pool. Mu Feng also said impatiently. Where is the entrance you escaped from? Take me to see. Wu Jiang also said with vigilance. No one knows the importance of this matter better than him. Although the matter has come to an end, at least there is still a chance to remedy it. Go. After Wu Jiang finished speaking, the three of them set off towards the trail. Hey, it's strange, we just came out from here, why is there no exit now? Mu Feng was also the first to speak, with a puzzled look on his face. Are you sure it's here? Wu Jiang also asked slightly with a frown. It is indeed here, but I don't know how the exit disappeared. Xiao Yang also muttered to himself at this time. The two of them clearly came out of here before, how could the exit disappear for no reason? I'll try it out. After Mu Feng finished speaking, he also read the formula. Qiankuan Wuji, yin and yang gossip, Dharma eyes, open. After speaking, on Mu Feng's forehead, between his eyes, a looming eye slowly appeared. At the moment when Mu Feng cast the spell, Wu Jiang wanted to say something to stop it, but he took it back when he said it. He also wanted to figure out what was going on. As for other things, a 10-year-old child with a milky voice also plays on this trail every day. You are here again. What are you doing? This is the road we finally built. Are you trying to blow it up? The child's milky voice also appeared in the ears of several people. Then the child ran over angrily, pointing fingers at Xiao Yang and the three of them. I told my mother earlier not to borrow your territory here, but my mother doesn't listen. You're better off now. You occupy our territory and don't talk about this and that. After speaking, she looked at the three of them viciously. We just passed by here, there is no malicious intent, let's go. Wu Jiang also gave Xiao Yang a wink and said, I'll tell my mother when you come again. The child also said relentlessly. The three of Xiao Yang also left the trail and walked towards Wu Jiang's residence. How is it? Mu Feng? Wu Jiang also asked. Uncle, it's very strange, even if I opened my eyes to see, there was no problem with the exit where Xiao Yang and I came out, as if there was originally a pile of land, and there was no exit. Mu Feng also said suspiciously. The technique of yin and yang gossip has never appeared like this, so it can only mean that the exit they came out of has disappeared out of thin air. How is this possible? Uncle Wu, what happened to that child? Xiao Yang also saw that Uncle Wu was very polite to the child. Well, that kid is the son of the suzerain of this place, so this matter has to be discussed in the long run. Go on down, the 5th class talents are also coming out today, you go and have a look, after all, the selection will start tomorrow. You just give full play to your strengths and participate in the election. We will handle this matter. The awards for this trial are also quite rich. Wu Jiang also said. Yeah. The two of them also left after hearing that. How could Jiang Yuan suffer from such a heavy ghost? And how did the exit of the passage disappear out of thin air? Could it be that Xiao Yang and the others said that the ghost in the cold pond is? After speaking, Wu Jiang took out a letter, scribbled a few words, and shattered the space and flew in. The letter has the word urgent on it. In front of a magnificent hall, a man in a red robe was sitting leisurely sipping tea and wine, when he suddenly saw the void shaking violently, and then an envelope with the word urgent appeared. With a wave of his hand, the envelope was opened, and several conspicuous typing appeared in front of the red-robed man. The name of this mountain is Hongshan, and it is strange to say that the color of the soil in ordinary mountain ranges is mostly brown or black, but the soil of this mountain is actually all red, and it is surprisingly red, as scarlet as human blood. Have this name. Hongshan is a small mountain range located on the outskirts of Shentian. Although it is undoubtedly insignificant compared to the real mountains in Shentian, Hongshan has a superior geographical location. It is the best place, so the sect within Shentian-san and its Hongshan agreed to take up some time every year, using Hongshan as a stronghold to attract new people, and in return, Xian Santian will also give the sects in Hongshan have some not weak cultivation resources. Within Hongshan, there is a strong sect named Honggu. Although ordinary people don't know why they call it this way, this Red Valley is also a strong sect in the periphery of Xian Sansan, even though its suzerain is only a woman, but her cultivation is so strong that it has the power of a 6-star Do Emperor. So even if countless people coveted this mountain range, they had to give up under the coercion of the 6-star Do Emperor, so the Red Valley had been peaceful for a few years. In the Red Mountains, there are many buildings in Langya, and there are no simple and ugly buildings. Most of them are buildings with unique shapes and quite extravagant. It also requires sufficient funds, which is enough to show that the heritage of this Red Valley is not weak. The buildings are mostly concentrated on the halfway of the mountain range. All the buildings in Honggu are bounded by the halfway of the mountain. They are divided into upper and lower floors by the people of Honggu. Now they are the Aboriginal residents living in Honggu on the upper floor, while the lower floor is where people live in Honggu. The newcomers who came to participate in the selection, both sides also greeted each other, so the people on the upper and lower floors did not disturb each other. In the upper floor, in a quiet room, a trace of dark flames was slowly burning. The flames are surprisingly dark and eerie, giving people a sense of evil. Taking a closer look, looking at the appearance of this darkness gradually changing, there are quite a few ghosts in the secluded spring that Xiao Yang and the others encountered in Hankai. Yuquan, why are you looking for me? A woman's clear voice also sounded slowly in the room. The woman wears a plain skirt and her long hair is in a delicate hairpin. Although she is a little old, she cannot hide her beautiful appearance. Hey, there's nothing wrong. I'm here just to inform you that something went wrong in our cooperation. Some people were arrested, and some people ran out. Is the plan going to be carried out in advance? Yuquan also said secretly, although this woman has requested their ghost world, but judging from the current situation, the seal of the adults in the cold pool has not been lifted, and she is not his opponent, so she can only respect. Although it was the mistake of the people in their ghost world to be escaped, but in their ghost world, there is no justice, and their words are based on the strength of their fists. What? What are you doing? The woman was also furious. She is the owner of the valley of this Red Valley, and her name is Hongye. The reason why she is aware of the little tricks of sneaking away newcomers in the ghost world is that she has some unknown cooperation with the ghost world. But I don't know why, this time they actually arrested hundreds of people, which is a bit unbelievable, not to mention that someone has escaped now. If the person who escaped said it out, it would be a big trouble. You people from the ghost world really failed in doing things. Even this little thing can go wrong. When we cooperated in the first place, how did you guarantee the ghost world? Hongye also said angrily. In the past, every new recruit who participated in the selection would go missing, but under the background of Hongye, there were no people in Shentian Santian. He paid too much attention and was calmed down. The disappearance of so many people this time was enough to cause a sensation among the high-level officials of Xian Santian. This is also a helpless thing. This time, our adults will break the seal. The previous preparations were all for this time. Yuquan also said reluctantly. Absurd. This time you guys are too noisy, how can I prevaricate it? Hongye also said angrily. Hehe, after this time is accomplished, what you asked for will also be satisfied. Are you still afraid of this Xian Santian? Seeing this, Yuquan hurriedly said, after all, he can't tear his face with this red leaf yet. Hongye pondered slightly, then said, I see, the trials will start tomorrow, I will cooperate with you, I hope you don't break your promise, otherwise. The implication of Hongye is also very obvious. If they in the ghost world do not complete what they promised Hongye, then the consequences will be quite serious. Yeah. After saying that, Yuquan didn't want to stay for a moment, and then turned into a puff of black smoke and returned to the cold pool. Looking at Yochuan's departure, Hongye also softened from an unattainable aura, turned into a little woman, gently walked to the bookshelf in the room, turned one of the books, and then a secret room appeared. Jiyu Lang, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I'm doing this for you, what's the point of a world without you? When you wake up, we will fly away and never come back, to a place where there is only the two of us. Do you think it's good or not? Hongye said that tears also fell unconsciously. The person in his arms didn't move at all, and Hongye immediately hugged a man wrapped in white satin like a mummy. Lord Yu, someone came to the trail to investigate our entrance before. Thanks to our rotation, we were not found. We may have exposed ourselves here. Do we need to move? A black ghost also said. Well, you did a good job. Pack up, everything that can't be taken away is destroyed. I'm going to leave tomorrow. Yuquan also said something, and then walked towards the cold pool stone room in the center. How's it going? Yuquan also asked a shadow on the edge of Cold Pond. It's almost time. Your lord has absorbed the blood of these humans, and his strength has recovered 9 out of 10. It's only a matter of time before the seal is broken, said Ghostly Ghost. The next step is to wait quietly. I'm really looking forward to the selection of newcomers this time. Saying that, Yuquan opened his mouth greedily. In the cold pond, the originally dark brown water has long since turned into bright red blood water. The overwhelming blood aura permeates the stone room, and the pond is gurgling as if something is about to appear. Mu Feng, where are you going now? Xiao Yang was also pulled by Mu Feng and asked in confusion. Today is the day when the 5th class talent is announced, and it is also the day when the rules of the trials are announced. Let's go and have a look now. Mu Feng also said. When Xiao Yang heard this, he also remembered that today was the day when the 5th class talent was announced, and it was also the day when the rules of the selection competition were announced. He immediately followed Mu Feng and walked towards the square. As soon as he arrived at the square, Xiao Yang found that the crowd was so crowded that there was no way to leak out. There was an extra attic above the square. Although it was not a luxury, it was obviously just built at midnight. It should be for the announcement of the 5th weight for talent and tryout rules. The 5th level talent will be announced soon, and I don't know how many talents I can rate. I heard that the 1st class talent is the worst, and the 5th class talent is the strongest. It is rumored that if it can be evaluated as a 5th class talent, then 1 foot has already stepped into the door of these 9 super sects. After all, I heard that there are very few people who can be rated as the 5th class talent in each of these strongholds. I'll be satisfied as long as I can be rated as a 2nd class talent. Whispering continued to come from the surroundings. Xiao Yang, here. Just as Xiao Yang and Mu Feng hurriedly found a place to watch, Yueru's voice also entered Xiao Yang's ears. Hearing this, Xiao Yang and Mu Feng also leaned towards where Yueru was. Why didn't I go to find you at noon? I thought you were here first. Yueru also said, with a little bit of grievance in her words. I'm sorry, Uncle Wu asked me for something, and it's over. We're only here now. Mu Feng also looked at Yueru with gleaming eyes, and Xiao Yang covered his mouth just as he was about to speak. From Yueru's words, Xiao Yang also knew that Yueru still didn't know about his disappearance last night, and it was Wu Shishu who had concealed it. Xiao Yang immediately let go of Mu Feng and winked hard at him. Mu Feng also understood, smiled at Yueru, and said, Hello, miss you, I'm Xiao Yang's friend, nice to meet you. After speaking, he stretched out a hand towards Yueru. Yueru's eyes moved slightly, and then her jade hand was hesitant. She was obviously surprised by the aura on Mu Feng, who was wearing a Taoist robe, but she was Xiao Yang's friend after all. Out of courtesy, she also stretched out her jade hand and said lightly, Hello, I'm Yueru. The two shook hands gently and then let go. Xiao Yang also found that Yueru seemed to be very enthusiastic to herself, and then was terrifyingly cold to others. Then she didn't want to worry about these troublesome things, and waited until she joined. After the sect, it may gradually fade away. The breath on Yueru's body is as pure as the bright moon, and Mu Feng's body has been dealing with ghosts all the year round, and it is difficult to destroy the eerie aura of some ghosts. It is no wonder that Yueru feels strange. The three had a brief exchange, and then looked at the tall building in the square in unison. Be quiet, we're going to announce the 5th class talent. An old man is now on a tall building, holding a few jade slips in his hand and slowly opening his mouth. The old man's voice seemed weak, but because of the grudge in it, the loud voice spread all over the square. When the old man's voice spread out on the square, the originally buzzing square also became silent in an instant, one after another with nervousness, and looking forward to the high-rise buildings above the square. They know that the jade slip in this old man's hand will determine their treatment and even tomorrow's selection. These newcomers on the square also know when they are quiet. In the past, they were all proud of the heavens in their respective cities or places, but now that these people are gathered here, their previous advantages will be gone. Some of the pride in the past is not inferior, and the problems of the eldest young master and the little princess have to be restrained. After all, Xian Sansan is a place where a crouching tiger hides a dragon. Plate up. Young eagles need a lot of training if they want to spread their wings and fly high. They used to be high-ranking family sons and princesses, and their own problems are mixed, but coming to Shentian can change these problems. This is also the reason why Shentian-san is so popular with some large and small forces on the Xianling continent. Here, they finally came to the outskirts of Shentian after a long reception, passed the talent test, and then participated in the subsequent trials to determine their ranking and rewards for joining the Supersec. Everyone present understood that from the moment this talent was announced, their fate was also in their own hands. Maybe they were the proud sons of the earth before, but now, their talent, their past compared with before, the status will plummet. From now on, everything can only rely on oneself. If you want to join the 9 supersects of Shentian Santian to learn more advanced fighting skills, you must go through many selection. In the place of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Shentian San, the competition will be fiercer than ever before. They can only rely on themselves, and strive to improve their strength, so as to win the recognition of others and more huge resources. And the beginning of all this is the division of talent. Undoubtedly, the 5th level talent is divided, the 1st level is the lowest, and the 5th level is the highest, but it does not mean that the achievements of the 1st level talents will be low, and the 5th level talents will have high achievements in the future. But there is no doubt that those who can win at the first starting line are undoubtedly a lot ahead. Seeing that the square was quiet, the old man above the high-rise building with thousands of eyes also slightly opened the jade slip, and then said, "This time we have a total of 1,000 people tested at the Hongshan stronghold, and 2 of them 500 other talents, 300 third-class talents, 100 fourth-class talents, and the 5th-class talent. 9 people in total." There was a sudden silence on the square of with these words. There are thousands of people in this stronghold. These thousands of people are all the proud people from all over the world. Among the last thousands of people, there are only 9 people who are rated as 5th-class talented newcomers. This is enough to see the gold content of these 5th-class talents is really high. Hearing this, Xiao Yang didn't pay too much attention. When he tested his soul power at the 10th level, it was extremely rare in these 3 days. Therefore, in Xiao Yang's opinion, it should not be a problem for him to be rated as a 5th-class talent rookie. Big. 9 people. I don't know where the other 8 people are from. Mu Feng also whispered, but he obviously felt a slight pressure from Xiao Yang. You know, Mu Feng, however, the strength of the 4-star Do Emperor in the early stage, coupled with the magic of yin-yang gossip, is not something to be afraid of against the powerhouse in the later stage of the 4-star Do Emperor. There are only 2 reasons for him to feel this way. One is that Xiao Yang's strength is stronger than him, and the other is that there is something in Xiao Yang that can threaten him. Although Xiao Yang's strength is not weak, but according to Mu Feng's careful feeling, he is also the peak of the 3-star Do Emperor. Although he is only 1 step away from the 4-star Do Emperor, he is only a 3-star Do Emperor. Then there is only one reason. There must be something powerful in this Xiao Yang, which makes Mu Feng quite jealous. This Xiao Yang also has some unknown secrets. Otherwise, when he went to the Ghost Realm, the medicinal power of ecstasy was quite powerful. If he hadn't had some means, then Xiao Yang would have been planted somewhere. Furthermore, in the Cold Lake area, it was quite powerful. This Xiao Yang. Mu Feng also thought about it in his heart. The old man above the tall building just finished speaking. The square was silent for a while, and then it became lively. The people in the square were obviously having a heated discussion about who the 5th-class talents belonged to. There are only 100 newcomers with 4th-level talent, and there is not even a 1/10th chance of being evaluated as 4th-level talent. Brother Ma can be evaluated as a 4th-class talented rookie, and he is indeed a man of honor. In the future, we hope that Brother Ma will take care of 1 or 2. Next to Xiao Yang and the 3 of them, a short person continued to say, "Obviously I also have a good abacus in my heart. The trials haven't even started yet. Even if I know how to flatter me, it's enough to see some of this person's cleverness." The man known as Brother Ma smiled slightly, and then said indifferently, "It's just a 4th-class newcomer. In the future, we must work hard to gain the status of a 5th-class talented newcomer." At that time, however, the man who was called Brother Ma could not hide his excitement when he spoke, and obviously enjoyed the feeling of being flattered by others. While speaking, he also cast an unkind look at Xiao Yang and the 3 of them. When he turned his eyes slightly, he saw Yueru. Brother Ma looked at him carefully. Even if there were some good-looking women around him, but compared with Yueru, he was in heaven and earth. 3,000 silks fell with her hair, her eyes moved slightly, her charming smile and her perfect figure made Brother Ma drool. Xiao Yang also noticed this Brother Ma's unusual behavior, and then turned his head and smiled slightly. The smile seemed extraordinarily strange. Then Brother Ma also noticed the unusual attitude of the woman and Xiao Yang. From Brother Ma's eyes, he naturally knew that the strength of the man beside the woman was only the peak of a 3-star DI, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Hey, Brother Ma goes out, it's not a matter of success. The short stature also continued, people like them from small places, if they don't find a backer before starting the trials, then they will only be eliminated from the competition. Once they are eliminated from the competition, then what awaits them is to return, and this Shen 3 days will also lose the opportunity to experience. Next, I will announce the list of the 5th class talented newcomers. Anyone whose name is read will come forward to receive your token. Above the high-rise building, the old man also said in a hurry. Immediately, the square was also quiet. Thousands of them also wanted to know which 9 people had such ability and were evaluated as these 5-level talent newcomers. Zhu Qing. The old man said slowly. As soon as the name was uttered, there were bursts of commotion on the square. At this time, a rather beautiful woman also flew up from the crowd of thousands and headed towards the tall building. Then Xiao Yang and the others saw a beautiful woman with a long snow-white dress and long ponytails, which complemented each other quite beautifully. The most conspicuous thing is that there is a long whip around the woman's waist. The long whip slowly wraps around the woman's waist, like a water snake's waist. A rather powerful force. This long whip is definitely not an ordinary thing. As soon as the woman called Zhu Qing appeared, there was a commotion in the square. I heard that this woman is a bit amazing. With her strength in the middle stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, she actually defeated the powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do Emperor. That's not true, and this woman has a pretty good figure, if anyone can please her. There were also intermittent voices around. As far as I know, this Zhu Qing was born in a place very close to Shen-san, and the forces behind him are quite strong, and he is also very skilled in using a long whip. The enemy. Yueru also spoke slowly. Xiao Yang also nodded when he heard the words. Just from the very close distance to Shen Santian is enough to see that the background behind this woman is not weak, and the cultivation resources are also much stronger than Yueru and the others, so it is also possible to have such strength. Not surprising. Then Mu Feng on the side was obviously surprised. This kind of secret is obviously only known to the insiders. What is the origin of Yueru? Just wanted to speak, but had to stop. After all, based on Mu Feng's perception, he knew that Yueru was deliberately avoiding him. The woman was not affected by the commotion below. She bowed slightly to the old man, then took the token and flew back to an empty place above the square. He Wanxia. At the beginning of the first place, the speed was obviously faster. As soon as the voice fell, a woman in tights also flew towards the tall building. As soon as this woman appeared, there was an even bigger commotion on the square. Appearing in front of everyone is a woman with short hair like a man and wearing tights. If you don't look closely, the short hair will look like a woman and an ordinary man, but the tights also set off her figure. Ling Li was as far as it could go. The convex places were convex, and the concave places were concave, which also caused everyone under the square to let out a wolf-like howl. Humph, these men. He Wanxia also said lightly while standing above the tall building. You girl is like this. The old man above the tall building also said helplessly. You reading www.ukangshu.com. Isn't this about participating in the trials, how troublesome it is to fight in a long skirt? It's still good. Hurry up, trouble is dead. He Wanxia obviously said impatiently. After speaking, the old man had no ink, and handed the token to He Wanxia, who also turned into a stream of light and returned to the square. Why is this person named Wanxia? It is said that the elder is an elder of a certain sect in Shentian, but his own talent and strength are not weak, but this He Wanxia is extremely belligerent. If he offends her, then I'm in trouble. Yueru was also talking. Song Teng, Yi Tian, Li Xin, Luo Ming. Immediately afterwards, the old man above the high-rise building also slowly read out a few people, all of which caused quite a commotion. So far, 6 newcomers with 5th-level talents have been announced. Without exception, these 6 people have the strength of the middle stage of the 4-star Do. Mu Feng, who was beside him, couldn't help grinning. These 6 people were all in the middle stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, and he was only in the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, but even so, he was not afraid of any of them. Next, I will announce the top 3 of the 5th-class talented newcomers. The old man above the tall building also spoke slowly. Hearing that, the pupils of the people on the square also shrank tightly. These 6 people are already in the middle stage of the 4-star Do, so the strength of the top 3 will be even more terrifying. This video will end here.